Hey people, it is Monday, May the 5th, which is also Cinco de Mayo. So happy Cinco de Mayo to those who celebrate that day. It is currently 7:45 in the evening and about 15 degrees Celsius, and I'm standing here on the corner of Front Street and Bay Street in downtown Toronto. And as you can see, I have a sea of Maple Leafs jerseys coming towards me here. Tonight is the first game of round 2 of the playoffs, where the Toronto Maple Leafs will be taking on the Florida Panthers. And there's a lot of excitement and hype around this game. So I thought I'd take a walk around the area. Scotiabank Arena is just to the south. There's going to be huge crowds tonight turning out to watch the game. I think Maple Leaf Square will be packed with a sea of blue.
Just past just under guys, eh?
And it's quite windy right now, and there was rain and thunder and lightning in the forecast, but it seems to have held off, at least for the time being. So maybe I'll do a loop around the area. You can get a look at the crowds making their way to the stadium, or the arena, I guess. And of course, I'll walk past the Scotiabank Arena. I think most of the crowd has already made their way down there. I think the game gets underway at 8 p.m., so less than 15 minutes. I'll take us down to York Street.
It's hot weather.
I'm admittedly not a huge hockey fan by any means, but I do enjoy the excitement that the games bring to the city, especially during playoffs. That can go for the Blue Jays or the Raptors as well, or Toronto FC, or even the Argos. It does draw in huge crowds to downtown. Restaurants and bars are packed to the gills. And at times like this, the city can use every bit of additional tourist revenue it can get, because a lot of these fans do come from out of town. Even if most of them might live in Ontario, they might still travel several hours to Toronto from another city or town. All right, we're at York Street. Still got quite a few people making their way down to the arena. All right, let's walk through the Teamway instead of the underpass along the street. Probably see more people. And I do know that the last time the Leafs were in the playoffs a couple of years ago, it was this team that knocked them out of the playoffs. So let's see, I guess we'll find out how things play out this time. Seems to be a lot of optimism from what I can tell. That this year might be different than all the other years before. I think the last time the Leafs won a Stanley Cup was in 1967, which is hard to believe it was that long ago. That's when the Beatles released their Sgt. Pepper album. Right, that was the York Teamway we just walked through. I think a lot of people are taking the GO train into the city. And of course, the subway. There's track work underway on the Yonge line, which was supposed to have closed the subway earlier than normal, but I think they've extended it just for tonight's game, so it'll stay open a bit later, just to make sure everyone will be able to hop on a subway. The trains still won't be running until their normal time, which is around 2 a.m. But they'll be running them at least late enough to get most people away from the area if they want to take the TTC. I'm not sure if I can just walk in here or not. Can I just walk through here? Is this open to walk through? Pedestrians? Okay, okay. Oh, thanks. Okay, thanks.
I'm like, I don't want to go to the tailgate, right?
Yeah.
Lots of loud music here, obviously. So this is Maple Leaf Square here.
Okay, look, it's almost game time. It's time to get hyped for our team. As you guys know, the Toronto Maple Leafs used to be called the Toronto St. Pats. And since this playoff is about to make history, we're going to honor some history. Joining us tonight, the fan keeping the St. Pat spirit alive more than anyone, please welcome from St. John's, Newfoundland, smiling Jeff O'Callaghan. Now listen, we talked a lot about this alternate jersey, this other look. Would anyone like to win a green St. Pat's Maple Leafs jersey.
So that's where you go to the gathering spot to watch the game on the big screen. We're at Maple Leaf Square.
We got greens.
I won't be going right in there though. This is about as close as I'll get.
That's the D-liner. What's this? That's the Marner.
But it's kind of cool to see all the excitement in the air.
Okay. He's right.
Dude, was that for real, bro?
I think those are back. How about the big one? Where's the big one? Yeah, get my shirt.
All right, let's stay on York Street here. This is the Maple Leaf Square development. So residential and commercial development. Big grocery store and other shops and services. We'll walk around the arena here. This is the South Core neighborhood.
We didn't put on the TV though.
This area is fairly new. It's been built up over the last 10-15 years. The arena predates most of the buildings around it. I remember when it was surrounded by mostly parking lots in its first few years of operation. But now you can barely find the arena surrounded by all these huge buildings. But there it is right there. It used to be called the Air Canada Centre. Some people might still think it's called that, but it's been called the Scotiabank Arena for quite a few years now. In case of a medical emergency.
So let's try it out right now. Everyone inside and everyone outside. Grab your tail, your towels. Throw them in the air. In 3, 2, 1, go!
Anyway, that's where all the crowds are. Not sure how many people the Maple Leaf Square holds, but thousands, I would say. Let's hope they don't get rained out with those thunderstorms in the forecast today. So we'll continue to go around the arena. guy who's been partying a bit too hard. Yeah, you can see some action inside here. I wonder if I can walk into the main entrance of the arena without anyone noticing. Somehow I doubt it. Get lost in the crowd. Here is Bay Street. This is the front side of the arena. Catch a glimpse of the Sky Tower under construction. That thing is coming into view from all over the city. It still has a long way to go before it's topped out, all the way like up to there. Yeah, no chance I could just walk in unnoticed. You can enter the arena via the pedestrian walkway going above the street also. Got a gaggle of cops. Maybe I can just walk in here. This won't take me into the arena itself, but this is basically one of the entrances to get into the arena, if that's what you're trying to do. So this is about as close as I'll get, I guess, to the game. I guess this area is always accessible when events are taking place because it is connected to the path system. And people do use this just to get from one part of the path to another, including from Union Station to the Union Station bus terminal, which is right through that way. That'll take you into the arena proper. And this leads out to Maple Leaf Square, but not the part that's blocked off. So maybe we'll just take a peek, see how it looks from the other side. watch the game from here, I guess. Slightly obstructed, but there's a peek inside. They're playing Metallica.
From Toronto, Ontario, number 8, Chris and from Atlanta, Wisconsin.
Metallica just played here last week. Although they played at the Sky Dome, not at the arena. And you can totally see the screen from here too.
Number 23, Matthew Dye. And from Scottsdale, Arizona, number 34, Austin.
I think there was too much distortion and shouting to result in a copyright claim from Enter Sandman there, hopefully anyway. Well, they got the national anthem. They're playing the American national anthem and everyone is booing. That was a lot of people booing. Begins. It's kind of funny when they're singing the anthems and people are booing or cheering because the players on both teams have both played on other teams. They played on American teams, they played on Canadian teams. Matter of fact, there are players currently in the Maple Leafs that used to be in the Florida Panthers. So it's kind of funny, you know, how people really stick to this idea that one team is Canadian and another team is American when they're really not. All right, so we're going to go back through the York Teamway again. Got some stragglers. Can't be easy trying to find your friends in that crowd if you show up late. Let's go into the food court and I'll take us into the Great Hall here at Union Station. Actually, the food court is one level below this. This is where the train platforms are. Food court. This is going to be hop-in after the game is over. A lot of people come from out of town, as I mentioned, but also a ton of people come from the suburbs. It seems to me that most of the Leafs fans in the greater Toronto area don't live in the city itself, but do live in the outlying suburban areas. Might see a few more stragglers. All right. There we are in the Great Hall. It's quiet right now, but once again, wait until after the game is over. And back out onto Front Street. So I hope you enjoyed this little walk around the Union Station and Scotiabank Arena area on day one of the playoffs between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers. I guess by the time you see this video, we'll know who won this first game. I'll just say I hope it's the Leafs. Gotta support the home team, even if I'm not a hockey guy. And even if the players on the team are, you know, from all over the place, as I mentioned earlier. So leave a comment down below if you enjoyed the walk. Let me know your thoughts, I guess, on hockey, on the Toronto Maple Leafs, on their chances, and anything else that might come to mind. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store. Or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member, or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. So thanks for watching. And thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back, because as always, I will continue.